Hello dear students. Today we are going to deal with excretion, another important life process. Up to this we learn that to perform nutrition we have digestive system and to obtain energy we have respiratory system. For transportation of various substances we are taking help of our circulatory system. As the body performs nutrition, respiration and other biological processes continuously, some byproducts are produced in the body. These are useless and rather harmful for our body. So, it is mandatory to throw them out of the body. The process of expelling waste products outside from the body is called excretion. So, excretion is the biological process of removal of harmful nitrogenous metabolic waste from the body. Different organisms use different technique to get rid of waste products from the body. Some unicellular organisms excrete by the process of diffusion from their body surface. So, unicellular organisms like amoeba and different organisms use the diffusion process for the excretion, and multicellular organisms use specialized organ to perform excretion. Here we can see some animals and their excretory unit. Amoeba excrete waste out of the body with the help of contractile vacuole. So we learn about the digestion in amoeba. They capture the food, store it in food vacuole, digest it, and then the waste is stored in the contractile vacuole and it is thrown out of the body. Similarly, sponges use osculum, hydra use oral opening for the excretion. Flatworms are having flame cells as their excretory unit. Earthworms are using nephridia, and human beings are using nephrons which are present in the kidney for the process of excretion. The waste materials in living organisms are carbon dioxide, urea, uric acid, ammonia, pigments, salts and different digestive waste. Also, excess of water is also one of the waste. Ammonia, urea and uric acid are nitrogenous waste products, and so the process in which such nitrogenous waste are thrown out of body is called as excretion. We will learn about excretion in human beings. The excretory system of human beings is composed of pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters and urinary bladder and urethra. So our excretory system is having two kidneys, two ureters, one urinary bladder and urethra. In this diagram, you can observe the different parts of excretory system. Kidneys, these are the bean shaped kidneys which are reddish brown in color. This tube like structure is called as ureter. The sac like structure is called as urinary bladder, and the small tube is called as urethra. See, kidneys. Kidneys are bean shaped reddish brown in color. These lie along the posterior abdominal wall on either side of vertebral column. So kidneys are present on either side of our vertebral column. These are small bean shaped reddish structure and reddish brown in color. Right kidney is positioned lower than the left because of liver. So right kidney is slightly lower than the left because of liver. Kidneys are divided into three regions. The renal cortex, which is outer layer. So this part is the renal cortex, which is the outer layer. Next one is renal medulla, and which is inner layer, and lastly the renal pelvis, which carries urine from the kidney to the ureter, and this part is called as renal pelvis. Function of it is to carry urine from kidneys to the ureter. Next part is ureters. Ureters are 25 to 30 centimeter long tubes. The anterior funnel shaped part is connected to the pelvis in kidney and other end opens into the urinary bladder. See, this particular part is ureter, this tube like structure. It is 25 to 30 centimeter long, and this anterior part or this funnel shaped part of the ureter is connected to our renal pelvis and other end opens into the urinary bladder. Its function is to carry urine from pelvis, renal pelvis to the urinary bladder. Next is urinary bladder. The bladder is sac-like structure and it is lined with smooth muscles. It stores the urine until micturition. Micturition means the process of expelling urine from the body. So we can say urinary bladder is nothing but the muscular reservoir for the urine which lies in our pelvic cavity. Urethra. Urethra is a membranous tube which arises from the neck of urinary bladder to the urethral aperture. So this small tube, small structure is the urethra. This urethra is a small tube in females but long in males according to the structure. So this is our excretory system. This diagram is showing all the parts of excretory system. Two bean-shaped kidneys on which the adrenal gland, this yellow color is adrenal glands which are present on the kidney. This blue color is large vein, vena cava. This red is aorta which is the largest artery. Blue is renal vein and red color is the renal artery. Ureter, tube which comes out of kidney and opens into the urinary bladder, and urethra. I hope you understood the structure of human excretory system. Now see, with this other excretory organs are also there, such as skin. Skin is the largest organ in the body. Its primary function is to protect the different organs of the body as it is outer covering outer layer. So its main function is to protect the internal organs or other organs of our body. In addition, our skin excretes sweat. In particular, the skin eliminates the compounds like sodium chloride and some amount of urea. So that sweat is nothing but the sodium chloride and some amount of urea which is excreted from our body. Lungs. Lungs are the primary respiratory organs. We learn this in respiration. They help take in oxygen and expel carbon dioxide, but in this process they also eliminate some amount of water in the form of vapor. Liver. This organ has an important function of excreting waste from the body. It is the first line of defense when it comes to hormones, fats, alcohol and drugs. In fact, most drugs undergo first pass metabolism in this organ, that is in liver. The kidneys also eliminate few drugs. Furthermore, liver eliminates excess fats and cholesterol. This is essential to maintain the health of body. So liver is also helping in excretion. It helps to eliminate, excrete cholesterol and fats out of our body. Also it helps in elimination of few drugs from our body. So these are the other excretory organ. Students, I hope you understood the structure of human excretory system. Now we will learn how excretion takes place in our excretory system. Kidney is one of the excretory organ. Each kidney is made up of number of excretory units called nephrons. This is the diagram of one nephron, a single nephron. In each kidney, near about 1 million nephrons are present. And these nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. Nephrons are the actual structural and functional unit of our excretory system. In respiration, we learn that alveoli are the actual structural and functional unit of respiration. Like that, in excretory system, nephrons are the actual structural and functional unit which helps for the excretion. Each kidney consists of about 1 million of nephrons. These nephrons are the coiled tube structure. All it is the coiled structure, and it plays three important functions, that is ultrafiltration, reabsorption and secretion. First of all, we will discuss about the structure of nephron. Each nephron is made up of three major parts. One is Malpighian corpuscle, which consists of Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. So this cup-shaped structure is Bowman's capsule, in which you can see this thread-like structure or mass of capillary, that is glomerulus. Another part is nephric tubule. Nephric tubule is convoluted tubules, tube-like structure, highly convoluted tube-like structure, which consists of proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle's and distal convoluted tubule. And third part is the collecting duct. So this is the three major part of nephron. Nephron is the actual structural and functional unit of our excretory system. Now we will discuss about structure of nephron. Bowman's capsule. It is the first part of nephron. It is cup-shaped structure and receives the blood vessel. So this cup-shaped structure is Bowman's capsule, in which you can observe knot-like mass of capillaries, blood capillaries, and that mass of blood capillaries is called glomerulus. How this glomerulus is formed? See, when afferent arteriole enters into the Bowman's capsule, it get divide. So this afferent arteriole enters into the Bowman's capsule, and it get divides and redivide into bunch of about 50 blood capillaries. Due to the division of this afferent arteriole into near about 50 blood capillaries, the glomerulus is formed. Then finally this glomerulus reunite together to form afferent arteriole, and the blood capillaries reunite together to form afferent arteriole. So this is the Bowman's capsule and glomerulus structure. Now in this glomerulus, filtration takes place, ultrafiltration. First step or first function of excretion takes place, that is ultrafiltration. The blood cells and proteins only remain in the blood. Next structure is proximal convoluted tubule. The Bowman's capsule extend downward to form the proximal tubule. In this proximal tubule, water and reusable materials from the blood are now reabsorbed. So in first part of nephron, first process takes place, that is ultrafiltration. In second part, reabsorption takes place, reabsorption and secretion. Loop of Henle's. The proximal tubule leads to the formation of U-shaped loop called loop of Henle. It is in this area in which urine becomes concentrated as water is reabsorbed. So this is the proximal tubule in which the excess water and minerals get absorbed. This is loop of Henle's, which is the U-shaped structure. Here also the reabsorption takes place. Next part is the distal convoluted tubule. The loop of Henle's leads into the distal convoluted tubule. It is where the kidney hormones cause their effect. And last part of the nephron is the collecting duct. The distal convoluted tubule of each nephron leads to the collecting duct. The collecting ducts together from the renal pelvis, and through renal pelvis urine passes into the ureter. So here the ultrafiltration takes place in the first part of nephron. Here reabsorption and secretion takes place, and then urine enters into the collecting duct. These collecting duct together forms the renal pelvis and pass urine into the urinary bladder with the help of ureter. So this is the structure of nephron. Now we will learn how urine formation takes place. Urine is the liquid waste product of human body. It contains urea, uric acid, salt, water and other waste products that are the result of various metabolic processes. So we learn that due to different metabolic process, waste is formed, and this metabolic waste it is thrown out of body with the help of excretory system. It is formed in the primary excretory organ, the kidneys. The structural and functional unit of kidneys is called nephrons. Millions of nephrons are involved in the process of urine formation. Urine formation process occurs in 3 steps. First one, glomerular filtration, or we can also call it as ultrafiltration. Next one is tubular reabsorption, and third one is tubular secretion. This diagram is showing all these steps of urine formation, process of urine formation. Afferent arteriole, which brings blood into the Bowman's capsule, where afferent arteriole get divides into the mass of capillaries called as glomerular capillaries, and then afferent arteriole. Now we will see how the process of urine formation takes place. First one is ultrafiltration. The walls of glomerular capillaries and Bowman's capsule, being very thin and semi-permeable, act as ultrafilters. So this Bowman's capsule and glomerulus act as the ultrafilters. Renal artery, that is afferent arteriole, brings the blood into glomerulus, which contains urea waste. Due to capillary pressure exerted on the blood, it passes through the glomerulus. So due to the pressure, capillary pressure, blood passes through the glomerulus, and water, nitrogenous waste, glucose, amino acids and minerals are filtered out in the Bowman's capsule. So actual process ultrafiltration takes place in the Bowman's capsule. Here the water, nitrogenous waste, glucose, amino acids, minerals get filtered out of blood. The large molecule like proteins and blood cells cannot pass through the glomerulus and hence remain in the blood. So in this Bowman's capsule, except blood cells and protein molecules, all the other substances get filtered. This thick and concentrated blood is carried forward by the afferent arteriole. Then afferent arteriole carries that blood which is having only proteins and blood cells. So first process is ultrafiltration, which takes place in the Bowman's capsule and which carried out with the help of glomerulus. Second is tubular reabsorption. When the glomerular filtrate containing useful substances as well as waste substances, so in this all substances get filtered, and so it contains some useful substances also, such as minerals are there, glucose is there, amino acid is there, so and with that nitrogenous waste is there. Then that filtrate passes through our tubule. In this tubule, second step of urine formation takes place, that is reabsorption. So here the useful substances are reabsorbed by the walls of tubule and return to the blood. So in the proximal tubule, in the loop of Henle, reabsorption process takes place and the useful substances are poured into the blood again. Excess water is reabsorbed by the process of osmosis, and only waste substances like urea, some unwanted salts and excess water remains behind in this tubular structure. Next is the third step is tubular secretion. The cell of renal tubules also removes waste from the blood and pass into the filtrate by secretion. So this removes ammonia, urea and uric acid. Here we have discussed about the glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption. In tubular reabsorption, during glomerular filtration, all substances except blood cells and proteins are pushed into the capillaries at high pressure. At the level of proximal convoluted tubule, some substances from the filtrate are reabsorbed, such as amino acids, minerals, etc. These include sodium chloride, potassium, glucose, amino acids, bicarbonates and 75% of water. The distal convoluted tubule shows selective absorption. The substances and water which is reabsorbed are taken up by the peritubular capillaries to return to the blood. These are the peritubular capillaries which helps in the absorption, which helps in the reabsorption. The peritubular capillaries that help in transporting the reabsorbed substances to the bloodstream also helps in actively secreting substances. So third section is tubular secretion. In this peritubular capillaries help us to secrete some substances into the filtrate, such as hydrogen ions, potassium ions, to maintain the sodium potassium ratio. Whenever excess potassium is secreted into the filtrate, sodium ions are actively reabsorbed to maintain sodium potassium balance. So the drugs which are not filtered during the glomerular filtration, then such drugs are poured into the filtrate with the during this tubular secretion phase. So this is all three process of urine formation. Then the liquid which is flowing is urine, which is collected in the pelvis, and ureters of either side carry urine from the pelvis to the bladder. So here we can see, by all these process, the urine is now collected into the collecting duct. The urine carries to the bladder. When enough urine gets accumulated, then by the contraction and relaxation of muscle, urine is released outside the body through urethra. Since the urinary bladder is controlled by nerves, so we can control the urge of urination, and as I told, the act of passing urine is called micturition. So this is all about the structure of human excretory system, structure of nephron and the urine formation. The urine which is formed, it is it is the waste product that is eliminated by the kidneys. Urine contains waste products like urea, salts, excess ions, water and metabolized product of drugs. Urine is often light or pale yellow in color, and fresh urine has slight ammoniacal smell. It is often clear in turbidity with a pH of around 4 to 8. So this is all about excretion in human beings. Now we will discuss about excretion in plants. Plants also perform excretion, but their methods are absolutely different than animals. Plants have various waste products like oxygen, which is produced during the process of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide, which is the waste formed during respiration, and excess water and the metabolites are the other waste which are formed in the plants. To get rid of oxygen and carbon dioxide, stomata play the most important role. We discuss about the stomata. It helps for the exchange of gases. It helps for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The gases are expelled out through stomata by the process of diffusion. Through transpiration, plants eliminate excess water continuously. In the form of water vapors, the excess water is eliminated out of the plant body. Plants produce waste materials that accumulated in the vacuoles of aging cells. So, plants store their waste products in the vacuoles of old cells. These cells eventually die and fall off the plant. These structures can be stems, leaves or bark of trees. We can see the leaves get yellow and detach from the twigs because the waste is stored in the leaves, and so it becomes yellow and after some time it get detached. Some plant waste get stored in the vacuoles of cell. Resins, gums, latex are also some of the waste product of plants that you can see. See here, another commonly produced waste material of plant is tannin. Tannin is a product of plant that are stored in the trunks of trees. They are present in the bark of trees. Like animals, plants also eliminate ammonia products such as alkaloids, and these are used to treat many human diseases. Another waste product that plants produce is latex. These are produced by the cells called lactifiers and found in the rubber plant. So, in rubber plant, this latex is there from which we are manufacturing rubber. This latex that is a waste product of plant is actually very useful to man in the manufacture of many rubber products. Students, if you put a cut on the bark of tree, you can see some fluid coming out of it. It dries and forms gum in the same tree. Gum is excretory substance of the plant. It is actually degradation product of the cell and which we use to manufacture different products. These gums and resins that a plant produces are basically stored in the aging old cells or old xylem. Few plants also eliminate their waste into the soil. These are the picture of excretion in plants. This first one is of latex, which we can observe in the rubber plants. From this we can collect this latex and use it to manufacture different rubber products. This another one is the gum, which is the degradation waste of the plants, and these crystals which you can observe are the excess salts which are deposited in the form of crystals within the cell. These are calcium oxalate crystals which you can see in tomatoes and in the leaves of spinach. This one is the water droplets which are eliminated in the process of transpiration. This is all about excretion in human beings and excretion in plants. I hope you understood the life process excretion. Students, with this we have completed with our important lesson life processes. In this we learn about nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. Very soon I will upload question answers of this lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.